Hang on, y'all. I'm here. I'm back, baby. So this party started. Party might be a strong word. The mouse cam now, you notice? That's the mouse house. Welcome to the mouse house. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. We got a mouse named James. It's just his name. Don't make a big deal out of it. He's sensitive. Nope. No gamepad support. The fuck is this? What is that? What the fuck is that? I suck at frisbee, okay? But there are goals. This OST fucking slaps, though. Such musical sophistication. Two dogs, what? Wait, which one of them is real? Which is a false dog? Wait, what? I guess that answers that. I haven't missed a throw, though. I can't turn, though. If I could, I would. What's going on here? What the fuck is the conceit of this game? Come on, man. This isn't cool. That was a wholesome activity. Oh, I can turn around. No, it won't let me. That was too far. That was too far. Can I no longer succeed? What is that? This stupid frisbee game is giving me some actual anxiety. Where'd the other dog go? I have so many questions. The sound went away. What does it mean? Can I not hit that one? There we go. It's harder than it looks, okay? Looks like silly dog game. Ha ha ha, you're failing at silly babby dog game. Well, which is it? Is it babby game or dog game, chat? You have all the answers. What if I just never throw it? That seems cruel. I shouldn't tease a doge. A doggington. A doglet. I can't fucking do it anymore. There we go. Wow, really? Unbelievable. Is there a trick to it, or am I just this out of practice? Yeah, no, you have to get the exact peak. There we go. I feel like I accomplished something tonight. Doglets. A dogling. A doggington. So the message on the frisbee said behind you, but I can't turn around. Oh, I can turn around. That was always an option, apparently. You stupid, horrible gremlin dog. Look at its face. It's got a potato body. It's gonna jump scare me. Oh, it teleported me. It fucking teleported me. Uh-oh. Oh, come on, really? Dog walks human. Black Mirror credits roll. Here's a cute doggo. That's a clown. You can't fool me. I played Doggo Clowno before. Then Downo, your Browno. Alright, I know in the past I've said no mascot horror. This one's just called Ted, and it's a teddy bear. Does that count? I say it doesn't count. Well, this iced tea tastes weird. Come on. I believe in you. I believe in you. It's Unreal. Sorry, everybody. Unreal Engine. What's good, Hell Hydra? Oh, wow, that runs like dog shit. And it's not even rendering that much. And there's no VSync option anywhere. Reminds me of, remember that train level in Blood? Train levels are Kino in every game they've ever been in. Y'all remember that train level in Unreal Tournament 2003 or 4? Nobody doesn't like a train. What the fuck was that? Did I saw that. Oh. Foreshadowing, it turns out, is what that was. So I got my Bluetooth adapter in the mail today. Something tastes wrong with this iced tea. I don't know what it is. Maybe your mouse climbed in there or some shit. Stranger things have happened. B135. Fucking, here we go. Is that something you enjoy, tobacco? I won't stop you. It's a free country. Ain't none of us making it out of this alive anyway. Okay, no controller support that I can detect. Cool default Unreal Engine store asset. Good looking. I can't say good looking assets anymore. That's a crime now, turns out. Ah! Why? What'd I do? What'd I even do? You ever have that fear after seeing like viral clips of people finding animals that crawled into their food at the grocery store? Like when a bird gets into some grapes and then just decomposes there. You ever have that fear that of finding like a mouse or a bird in one of your beverages? Beverage. Oh. Oh shit. No, 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 no. He thirsts for butt pleasure. Okay, alright. I guess it was my fault for looking backwards. That's victim blaming, though. Plus, it's a little known fact, nobody can disagree with you. If you're puffing on a pipe while you argue with them, you're automatically right. I don't like it. Wait, butts plural? What do you mean he wants my butts? Do I have another one I don't know about? Is this like that son I didn't know about? that I have to pay child support for? I wish there was a way to cheese this. Maybe there is. Maybe there is. There should be a rearview mirror, because if you can never look back, you won't be as scared. And you know what the shitty thing is you can't really report it without people thinking you're a money grubber who's just trying to get rich off a lawsuit. It's impossible to tell apart the sincere, authentic complaints from people trying to get money. Uh-oh. That's my whole life summed up there as a uh-oh. I'm a genius. Oh no. This is probably TMI and too sexual for a Twitch stream, but has anyone out there ever enjoyed giving butt sex? Because I have sampled being on the giving end. I've never received it, and it wasn't fun. Porn lies to you. A lot of stuff I've tried that I saw in porn that looked really fun on camera turned out to be just messy and smelly and and this is with proper hygiene and everything. It's just a stink. It's just a bad smelling orifice. Poop comes from there. I don't know. Maybe I still did it wrong, despite all like the cleanup and prep work that we read about like, on the internet. I didn't even ask for it. She offered. I think because I tried to break up with her earlier. It's the only girl I ever tried to break up with. Because she was gonna leave me anyway for out of state college, and I didn't want to make it easier on her. That was my thinking at the time anyway. And I guess she thought offering me weird sex stuff would make me stick around. It was never about that. I've never liked that kind of thing. I was like, sure, I'll try anything once. It was not good. It's a meme. It's a meme. I guess if that's all you can do, you have to make it work somehow, but people laugh about it like it's a big gag. It's not funny. You think it's bad receiving. I mean, I don't... I imagine it is. Giving is also not fun. It's all around a bad scene. Okay, this doesn't work. That's out of the question. Not found. What do you mean not found? Is this a cursed game? I don't mean to sound like a Puritan, but I do think young men and young women are being fed a false bill of goods and having distorted expectations foisted upon them by the adult film industry. I say this as somebody who was raised by like 4chan and Style Project and Ogrish and Rotten.com. It's hard to talk about because it's like I said, everybody's like, ha ha, ha butt sex, lol. I guess so. I think it could be good for you if it was stuff that was like that was more vanilla that didn't include the faces. So it's just beautiful bodies that help you get excited after like 30 years of marriage. Speaking of which, there's a big discussion on X.com, formerly Twitter. I feel so gross and artificial saying that. About how like 90% of OnlyFans women make under $100 a month. And it's basically like a pyramid scheme. Technically, it's not. It has a referral system, but that's not where it makes most of its money. But it has a multi-level marketing adjacent structure. What genius figured out that hot bitches fall for MLMs, and you could use this to see their titties for $5? But then, on the other hand, when I was like 17, that would have sounded like utopia to me. Like girls I actually know, not like gross looking leather Muppet used up porn stars looking like something out of Serbian film, but like chicks I know, chicks I went to school with, coworkers. I could see their titties for $5. It's the oldest profession. Every school had that one girl who would lift her dress for a quarter, and that would have sounded like utopia, like a dream come true. Is it though? Is it a dream come true? This is like a monkey paw wish. Like now you can see everybody's titties for $5, but you can't get with any of them. Because they're all unattainable to their fans, but they're also simultaneously complaining that the men they're after don't want them because they do OnlyFans. It's a fucking paradox, which ironically results in less fucking all around. Maybe that's the scheme behind it, is population control. However, we're going to pretty soon see the first generation of Zoomers who have to go through school with classmates who can see their mothers naked and pass around the pictures on their phones. Yeah, that's the thing. In like some situations, it seems like it could be fine as long as they didn't feel pressured into it, and as long as they're legitimately they just enjoy showing off. Because there's this one chick who does Fansly, who I found out about her through her film reviews. She's just a very enterprising person. She doesn't only whip her tits out on the internet. She also does film reviews, and she does like 6 or 7 other things. She's autistic, so she's basically just trying to survive in a world that doesn't hire autistic people. And she's using every asset available to her, including the ones that dangling off her rib cage. And I say more power to her. She clearly has the autistic trait of lacking a shame gland. And she's basically like the libertarian super person. The libertarian's ideal human who sells every aspect of themselves and a willing capitalistic monetization of and packaged commercialization of the self. Is that grotesque? Is that dystopian? Or is it like weirdly enlightened from a certain political perspective? Short talk, she's cracked the code. I ain't even mad. She's got hot takes that will make people angry about beloved pop culture franchises, which is guaranteed clicks. She's an attractive young woman, guaranteed clicks, and she gets her tits out. And if you want to see her tits, you can, if you pay her more money. I'm jealous. I'm a little bit bitter, because I can't support myself that easily. And it's not really fair that some people can. But if she's successful at it, then I just have only admiration. Because she really doesn't seem to be bothered at all. She does all sorts of shit and does not seem perturbed. I don't mean like in a transgender way, but I am jealous sometimes. I'm jealous that It's like being a billionaire, but instead of having your wealth as like money, your 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 wealth is social advantages, and also the ability to easily generate income. And you didn't do anything to earn it except for not get fat. That is a kind of privilege, isn't it? That never gets talked about. You know why nobody ever talks about beauty privilege? It's because even the porkiest looking social justice ham beast imagines herself a like potentially a beautiful woman with enough makeup tutorials. They're the temporarily embarrassed millionaires of beauty, the petite bourgeoisie. Like they think that none of them want to bring up the topic of beauty privilege because they think that they can be in the beauty elite one day with the right camera angle. Yo, Hail Hydra, is Terminator in that yet? You say that, Snow Bunny, and that might be true, but for like the right kind of person who can also find the right kind of person who doesn't care, like I don't care. Does that make me a cuck? I wouldn't care if a chick had an OnlyFans, but it would depend on the kind of situation. I would be really concerned for her and feel bad, and if she didn't want to do it, or if she flopped tremendously hard at it and she had already done a lot of degrading stuff that she wouldn't normally. That's one kind of person. Another kind of person is just a shameless person who monetizes absolutely everything at their disposal because they are making the best use of the resources that they have. And if they're completely emotionally okay with it, that's a different situation. It would be cool, right? It's kind of a no-brainer that to put the Terminator in Dead by Daylight, and it's shocking they haven't yet. 666. That's not even the real devil's number. Nero is 616. You'll get sick too, don't visit him. What do you say, boss? That's my secret. I was already sick. I remember finding this one chick on the early internet. I was like 15, and she was like 20, and she was, I think, autistic too, because she had some kind of self-awareness issue going on, but she did all that kind of stuff for free. Like nobody paid her, but she had an account on whatever the porn site was back then. I think X Hamster. And she just uploaded endless pictures of herself doing depraved shit in her bedroom. And she was I guess it's possible for sex stuff to be your special interest because she was like going through the fucking sexual dictionary trying to do one example of everything. She had like a cream pie video where she like defined it on video and she pointed out what makes it a cream pie. She had like a anal beads video where she's like, it's so hot, I finally get to do this, and that's just a freak. Some people don't have to be talked into it; they're just freaks. And I guess that's contrary to the like. I don't come at this from a Puritan angle. I say if you're really a freak, let your freak flag fly. And I support your rights to do that. But if it is a dark scenario, if you're not a freak and you just feel like you don't have any better options, and society basically forces you to get naked and do stuff you're uncomfortable with to feed yourself and have housing, it's such a fine line. It's such a fine line between like happy, positive sexual stuff and really dark, bad sexual stuff. Not a lot separates the two. I tried to find it, Naysayer. She had dark hair, and she wore a I don't know, it's not like a sash. It's like whatever those things women wear on the beach, when they're not in the water. And they don't just want to wear the swimsuits. They wear like it's not like a dress either. It's like a sash kind of, but it's around the waist, and it hangs down diagonally, and it's like translucent. Had just one of those on. And it was like rainbow colored. It's like mostly yellow. I remember it very distinctly. I burned those images into my brain. I had found a special person, a human treasure. Good evening. And if you doubt me for 1 second that there are special human treasures in the world, look at Lotad69. To some fat guy, she's going to be a dream come true when she decides to get married finally. Like, she's an impossible person. A person that seems like she couldn't really exist in real life. Or like she's like a Borat-style performance art character. Like, her bodily proportions are like real-life anime. And she only wants fat kings. That seems way too good to be true, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm friends with her on Steam. She laughed at me, but not in like a derisive way. She thought it was charming. She let me down easy, but she was really tickled. I guess when men approach her online, they're usually less cordial. I made a very polite and formal declaration of my interest in her, in courting her. And she thought it was the funniest, goofiest shit in the world, I guess. Or she was just pleasantly surprised. I can't tell. But she said, "No, I'm really only into fat kings. You have to get fat, otherwise." Not should not. Wouldn't that be something? Like 2 tickets, please. Thank you. Give him 2 tickets if he's gonna buy it. You have to say thank you too, Greg. How do you know my name? Oh, it's his imaginary friend. I see. Of course. Of course. Really weird controls. No, I'm doing the opposite. It's a shame she's an autistic dream girl. But I'm casting a wider net than the one person. Maybe that's her real game. She wants somebody willing to destroy their life and body for her as a demonstration of dedication. To be fair, she's very pretty, but I don't know that we have anything in common. She is also, I think, a Lutheran or some shit. She's of Russian descent. You can, dear driver. Quit this job. It's cursed realm. Okay, that's a little bit personal, buddy. I also like her squirrel buddy too. She's like me and the crows. I visited my crows today. There's not as many out lately when it's hot out. I don't know where do they go when it's hot? They must have like a crow hideout or some shit. They mostly come out when it's rainy and gray. Anyway, I didn't have any food to give them, and I felt bad, so I actually went back inside. And I bought some chips. $3 for a little tiny thing of chips. And I crushed them up to make them last longer. Because the crows kind of fight over the morsels you give them. I coaxed them close enough to take the morsels from me. I hope they remember my face, because I know they hold a grudge if they don't like you. Multiple generations of crows will, like, swoop down and attack you. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. That happened to me in a bat. Everybody warned me not to get attached when I found an injured bat on a cycling trail. I took him to the Audubon Society. Actually, after this I installed a special pouch on my bike just for injured animals, so I could be like an animal ambulance. And they tried to nurse him back to health for 3 days with mealworms, but he had broken his spine, and he just didn't make it. I named him Ernst. People were like, "Don't name him. You don't know if he's gonna make it or not. Don't get attached." I named him. It was too late. It was always too late from the start. Frankly, I was never not going to get attached to a little bat. You ever seen a dormouse? I always thought those were literal mice that live inside of like holes in doorways. But it's D-O-R, dormouse. It has nothing to do with doors, counterintuitively. They're the cutest fucking thing in the world. They look like a mouse hamster. Behind you. Oh, hello neighbor. Oh, well. Good job, Greg. Come on, let's get you out of here. Do you just fucking KO Satan? You know, you really shouldn't trust anyone around these parts. They're small and they snooze. They're snoozy. Oh, wow. Alright. Okay. That was clever. I'm going to keep this and do the other routes off stream and see if there's any worth streaming. What have we got here? So far, none of these games have supported gamepad. Ernst was so cute. And they strung me along. Making me think he was going to recover. Ernst. He was the night. He was the darkness. Dormice are like a fucking Disney creation, but they're real. Perhaps we have to kick it up a notch. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, we do. How about multiple? You're the one you facilitated? You can't prove shit. I wasn't even there. Status resolved. Entity present. That reminds me, there's a news story recently where they grew a recognizably early fetus without sperm or eggs. No sperm, no eggs, but it had like organs and shit. They called it an entity, and Lyle Rath on X.com said he wants the entity to know fear. I had a sensible chuckle at that. It's not a new Hamu, it's the mice. The mice have always been there. Little mouse friends. Little mouse fellas. Okay, are they on screen? They are on screen. Good. They're kind of hamus. You know, Snow Bunny Chemist had 13 hamsters at one point because they're just prodigious breeders, and most of them, I think, a couple got eaten, and others just didn't make it. But like 9 of them grew up. I'm not crazy about mice so far. I'm not gonna lie. They're more docile and friendly to each other. But the thing about mice is that their waste is not as dry. Hamsters have very dry shits and don't piss very much. So that they don't get as dirty. They don't fuck up their cage as quickly. Mice pass more water. Or they drink more to begin with. Oh shit. This takes me back. Let's narrating it. This looks like how Zuckerberg actually walks in real life. He does the Sims NPC walk. Y'all can't contain me. You can't contain me. You can't contain all this. This is what a strong, independent woman looks like, boys. Are you scared yet? She do be kind of stacked, though. Oh, the mouse house is immediately outside of my bedroom in the common storage area, or it became a storage area. So I'm no longer breathing mouse farts and pee fumes, which I think was contributing to my illness. Snow Bunny says to clean the cage more often, but I have like an inch of silica gel, which should absorb. I could probably still swap out the fluff, though. I don't want to be buying $26 worth of silica gel every week. But I can definitely replace the fluff, because the fluff is just paper. The fluff probably absorbs urine also. Mice are just kind of filthy creatures compared to hamsters. I like hamsters much better. The only reasoning behind mice is I can put multiple mice in a habitat and not have them eat each other live, because hamsters are savage. They're cannibal animals. You know, I had an idea for a game like this where it comes on a Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray has video backgrounds that are real-life footage for 24 hours. 24 hours worth of real footage. Even on a Blu-ray, that would have to be compressed. And it would basically be like the modernization of the concept of Resident Evil, where they use pre-rendered backgrounds so they can put all the polygons into the character model. And with modern technology, I think we could use video backgrounds and we would be able to achieve a level of visual fidelity on the main character that looks photorealistic. You could have a totally photorealistic game that takes place over 24 real-time hours and do like Majora's Mask or something, but with the Resident Evil controls, tank controls, and real-time video backgrounds on a Blu-ray. Probably one wouldn't be good enough. You'd need one of like, aren't there like 100 gigabyte Blu-rays? You need a big fucking file for that to work. Look at her just gliding along the wall. Who does she think she is? If she T-poses, I'm out of here. That's too woke for me. I can't get out. I think hiding shit behind scan lines also really helps sell photorealism. What's good, Zulu? Can I watch her take a dump? Is it going to be that kind of game? Is it going to be a mini game like a WarioWare? Clench your butt cheeks to snip off the end of the I'm not going to finish that sentence. Never mind. All is lost, Zulu. Storm's coming. Put everything in Monero while there's still time. It's the only sensible choice. This is really weird tasting iced tea. I'm going to dump it out later and make sure. Maybe they just changed the formula. I'm really sensitive to formula changes, and it ruins something for me when that happens. So I got the Bluetooth adapter in the mail today. I got my memory foam pillow, which I hope is going to help me sleep without fucking up my neck anymore. Pray for him, Dad. Because I wake up with a aching neck and a headache every day. I got the 6-incher. I might need the 5-incher. I might send it back. I'm going to test it out tonight. See what else I get. I got a beanie ahead of winter. I got a nice fetching black beanie that'll match my jacket. It has an LED lithium powered headlamp built into the beanie, as well as Bluetooth audio. But all the electronics are removable, so I don't have to dry clean it. I can machine wash it. I'm always needing a headlamp at night, so I don't want to use my phone for that. Oh, I also today I replaced the battery in my smartwatch. God, that wasn't fun. There's so many little fiddly tools you need. You need like 4 different fucking tools. And on top of everything else, it's fucking glued shut. I guess that's for water resistance. And this watch is probably not water resistant any longer. There we go. Oh, I'm taking out the trash, am I? You can take the trash out. Am I just gonna carry trash around? I'm the trash man. So it's the one nice thing about replacing batteries is that usually technology has improved a little bit since when you bought something. So the replacement battery has like slightly more capacity than the one you are getting rid of, which was turning into a spicy pillow anyway. And I went from 430 milliamp hours to 480, if I can believe the supplier anyway. That needs to stop being a thing, by the way. Can we agree on that? Like, if you're gonna sell electronics at all that are hard to take apart, you need battery technology where the battery never goes bad, or rather, it takes multiple decades to go bad. So you just never need to think about the battery life, because by the time the battery is dead, the device is hopelessly obsolete. It is not okay to have a battery last for 5 years and then you have to order a fucking lock breaking kit online with all these little tweezers and shit. That's the downside. The upside is I apparently put everything together correctly. Which is hard because it has to be sandwiched together in such a way that the electrical contacts touch the contacts on the battery cable. Like everything has to be positioned just right, and you can't fit your fingers in there to make sure. It turns on. It's still at 97% battery, and it was many hours ago that I replaced it and charged it. So it's back to its brand new battery capacity. I still use Pebble. It's hard to quit Pebble because there's a lot of apps that were made only for Pebble that I can't find an equivalent of on Android Wear. There's one where any barcode, you can you can convert it to a number. You can scan it with your phone, convert it to a string of numbers, then manually type that number into your watch in the barcode app, and it will reproduce the barcode and store it in like a digital wallet. So like if you have your gym membership card in there, now you don't need a physical card anymore. You can have your coffee, like your cafe member rewards card, your gym card, your AAA card, and whatever else programmed into your watch. Probably it's a good idea to have the physical card as a backup, but you can just flash your watch and they can scan the thing off the screen. I also have a QR code wallet on my phone. I mean on my watch. But that one's only on the Android watch, so I have to wear two fucking watches. Looking like a even more of a turbo autist than I already am. And then if I ever had to explain to somebody, it's because they have different software ecosystems, and I need programs that are exclusive to both. And a woman heard that, her vagina would suck all the moisture out of the room in the process of drying up like a fucking like she's making fruit jerky in there. Like those little packets at the bottom of a bag of beef jerky. I don't know where to go next. I got two things to trash. Is it this way? Am I the janitor? Oh, alright. I'm the janitor. I'm looking a little bit too thick to be a janitor. You know what I'm saying? I'm still thinking about how we live in a hyper-capitalist, libertarian future where everything anybody else likes about you, it doesn't have to be like your body. If you're funny, it coerces you to monetize your humor so everybody can enjoy it. Which sounds simultaneously sinister and also like a positive force that makes people share stuff about themselves that they might have otherwise hoarded. Like if there's a super funny guy that you wish was in your friend group, and he's not sharing his funny quips and stories, perhaps you want him to, and if you offer if you offer him compensation for that, suddenly he can be everybody's funny friend. But it's everything. It's humor, it's intelligence, it's any marketable skill, but also it's a further intrusion into the self. It's no longer just skills that you intentionally learned in order to sell them. It's stuff that you didn't intend to sell, like personality attributes. Everything will be commoditized in the end. can't scroll down. Fake windows. Fake, fake, fake. Ashley. What if I don't want to have the value extracted from me? What if I want to keep my value? What if there are things about myself that I want to save only for people that I care about and know closely? Is that going to be like the last luxury that common people have? The decision not to monetize? If this is coming off as like I'm 14 and this is deep, and this is shit that's already been talked about a million times in Black Mirror, then let me know. I guess I can leave now. Or not. Or it's the other way. Look at her power walking. That posture. That gait. Pure, simple, refined elegance. Also, not to gross anyone out, but I just reached behind my neck and rubbed a sore spot that gave no indication of being anything other than a sore spot, and it fucking erupted all over my hand. It turned out to be a gigantic pimple that was just barely not exploding until I touched it. I want to fucking retch now. Biology is gross. It's not a miracle. Not the miracle of life. It's the nightmare of not being a robot. I can't go out that way. It won't let me do it. Was there another... Was there another trash can I was supposed to get? Being a living creature is constant body horror. Possibly less so if I took better care of my skin. But, I actually never had really bad acne on my face. It all showed up on my back. Like, God cut me a deal and he's like, listen, I know it's important to you to look pretty for girls in this stage of your life. So I'm going to move all the acne from your face onto your back and they won't see it until it's too late. As long as you hit it from the right angle, they might never see it. And if you think Yahweh, God of the Bible, wouldn't help me gaslight women, you don't know much about Judaism. Yahweh is just fucking Trump in space with superpowers. What am I missing? Did I already get this? Already got this. I think it's the fabrics I wear also. I think my skin is easily irritated and I break out in contact with like synthetic fibers, but I don't really have the money to treat myself to silk shirts or some bougie shit. I don't really have a lot of bougie shit. I would be ashamed. I've never owned any jewelry. I never will. Can you imagine owning jewelry? Spending thousands of dollars for something that does nothing? Like, everything I own does something. Oh, I also recently got a good deal. It was a price drop on a compact battery-operated air tire pump, which is this about the size of 2 or 3 decks of cards. I don't know how small it could be that small. It is that small though. My my existing pump has a frayed electrical cord, which is gonna shock me or start a fire at some point. So I have to get rid of that. I would get a cool wedding ring. I would not want an expensive one. Like, they make ones that use meteorite metals online. There's ones that have like fragments of dinosaur bone in them. Or there's like carbon fiber ones, although maybe that's not as cool as it used to be. I would be understanding of a wife who wants a significant, meaningful ring, but if she asks for diamonds, I don't think I found the right person. Internet one. Image of entity. First time the entity was captured on film. Subject remains unaware of entity. What entity? What entity? Also, more body horror. When you get to be in your 30s and your bones start popping, and they pop in ways that don't make sense for human anatomy. Like, my sternum pops if I bend backwards, but that can't be happening because there's not a joint. There's not any joints in my sternum, but that is where the popping is coming from. It's like one solid piece, supposedly. Start with the bathroom trash, this mini room. Also the dishes. That's really my job here. This is the liberated woman. And let's see. Here it is. It is satisfying, but what's happening in there? How can the sternum be popping? I can't just turn off my brain. I need to know what's happening. It's really alarming. That shouldn't be possible. There's probably a YouTube video on it. Okay, can't do that. There's an icon that flashed on screen for a second there. Can I not do that with my hands full? Well, I would love to empty my hands. Here's the thing, though. I can't get out back to the dumpster. The one thing I'm not having to deal with is my hair thinning. But I don't want hair. I don't want more of it. It just keeps growing. Every barber I go to says, "Oh, you're so lucky. There's so many men in your age range who are just starting to bald, and they would give anything to have hair as thick and lustrous as yours." I'm like, I don't want it. It gets in the way of VR. It gets caught on the VR headset. It snags on my fucking sunglasses when I put them up on my head. And I would shave my head if I thought it wouldn't cause problems. That's what I'm gonna do if I ever do start balding. I'm just gonna go full Bezos. Bezos motor. Oh, it's that door. It's really funny. This is an actual job I could be doing for money. But instead I'm sitting at a computer. I guess I'm streaming. Neck pops are more often painful than pleasurable. And they're less alarming because I know how fucking vertebrae work. I know there's separate pieces. The fuck is going on in my sternum? It's like cartilage, isn't it? I don't even hunch over. I have an ergonomic office chair. It's $24. I live in fear of this chair. This seems like one of the chairs from the YouTube video. Oh fuck! What the fuck is that thing? What is that thing? What is that thing? What is that? What is that? That's the monster from the Penumbra tech demo, isn't it? I just saw Lad. I saw Xtro. Any y'all homies out there know who Xtro is? One of the scariest monster designs in horror movie history. It's just a backwards guy wearing a mask on the back of his head. I'm doing like a crab walk. I'm in. I'm in danger. Oh, I'm in danger. Oh, I'm in danger. He's just a shy little fella. He don't mean no harm. He's just vibing, right? Dishes. Do I collect the dishes? I do collect the dishes. So I'm just like the dorm mother for all these tech bros. Is that it? This is my life. Nope, this way. Get the fuck in there. You are my happy place. Oh, that's sweet. Am I sure that I don't like this guy? He seems wholesome and supportive. He really made that in MS Paint too. He's talented. He's an artist. He has an artist's soul. Make sure to refill the printer. The meeting room. Storage room has paper. I should be running towards him, not away. Finally, somebody who appreciates me. Not that way. Nope. Ah, here we go. It's funny how much differently you navigate when you have fixed cameras. You need to see shit to remember where you are. From like a certain angle. It's totally different from the geospatial part of your brain. It kicks in when you're navigating a 3D environment. Which is technically what this is, but not really. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay, here we go. Set the printer. Uh-oh. Couldn't be me. I would never be caught without a flashlight. Neither was she. Oh. Spooky, spooky. Everybody, clench your butt cheeks so that turds don't escape. We're about to have a really loud jump scare, I predict. It looks like that kind of game. How could it cut the power, man? They're goddamn animals. Goddamn animals in the house. Uh-oh. What was that? Oh, sparks. That doesn't seem right. I need to find a fuse. I don't think I can fix it. Am I just doomed to be like a withered raisin of an elderly man with long, luxurious, flowing white locks? Like a mummy, like a mummified Fabio? Surely you would leave, right? At this point? Having seen what you have seen and gotten spooked, you would leave through the open door in the fence. You would, right? Realistically? Just checking. Making sure it's not only me. Am I supposed to fix the thing? Oh, there's a lad. That is surely a lad of some description. Why am I running after it instead of away? Did she see it, canonically? Entity's strange behavior to play and stalk its prey. Despite close encounters, the subject remains unaware of entity and dismisses events as a break-in. Possibility most intriguing is the fact that entity left security cameras with power. It's only after the events we discovered the entity knew we were watching and permitted it. Uh-oh. Are you gonna spook me? Is that the spooper man? Is he using a fucking computer? Pause 5, beginning of night 3. Subject begins after our work. This is actually really compelling. Urgent open now. Like I discussed with you this morning, I'm deeply sorry about what happened yesterday. Giving the security guard extra hours. Unfortunately, something's been messing with her. Something? What do you mean something? Messing with her camera so we don't have footage. Take it easy. Tonight, just do the storage room trash, meeting room trash, and dishes. Please don't tell the rest of the employees we had a break-in. Storage room trash, meeting room trash, and dishes. Gotcha. Not your mom. But I could be for the right price. God, I thought I was over it, but I just remembered attractive young woman can also just sell feet pics. That is the ultimate easy mode of life. They could just fucking sell photos of their feet. They don't even have to get naked, but they do. There's such a thing as having a pay pig also. That's a career option if you're an attractive, like, white or Asian young lady. Is just a rich old man or a guy in like his 40s or 50s with a micropenis sends you videos of him dipping his micropenis into ice water, and you ridicule his micropenis, which is already small but now even smaller on account of the ice water. And that's a fucking career choice. It's the path. Now, granted, it only lasts through your 20s. But that's 10 years of, if you're smart, high earning and high savings. If you blow it under the delusion it will last forever, then that's your problem. Break room trash, right? No, I guess not. Dishes time. Sometimes I think that guy is actually secretly an evangelical psyop, because that's like the perfect psyop. It's like, WTF, religion is true now, because this embarrassing fat guy made a scat video. The amazing atheist. I keep getting him mixed up with this one lolcow named Nick because they both were into scat. Which is a profoundly gross thing. I'm shocked he kept going after that. I mean, once you're on camera playing with your own poop. You pretty much can't have opinions anymore. I mean, your opinions are automatically wrong because you did a scat video. I can't pick up trash. That's a bad omen, isn't it? Lights are flickering now. That's not a good sign. Let me run directly towards it. That's kind of his thing, though, is to be the world's least tolerable autist. He's like halfway between a regular autist and Chris Chan. Where he's got all the weird, gross sex stuff going on as Chris Chan, but he's intelligent enough not to do anything legally actionable. But not intelligent enough not to make a fool of himself on the internet. You're just fucking playing into their hands, too. There are actual good role models. Like the Dark Matter YouTube channel. That guy looks exactly like Chad in the Giga Chad memes. He runs an atheist channel, and he's an Australian dude who's absolutely fucking shredded. He's gigantic. That's who we need to put out front and center. Ideally. Do you still feel spooked sometimes? Do you still have that instinctual fear after you watch a scary movie, walking around like a dark house? I think I'm fully desensitized to it. I dare spooky shit to happen to me because I know it won't. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that there's not actually monsters waiting to jump out at me. I'm gonna die anyway. May as well have at least one cool paranormal experience before it happens. Dark Matter 2525. I think that is him. He's not Australian. He's got like a... I can't place his accent then. He's got some kind of accent. He's the one who makes the animations. Which, I mean, his animations are really good. They present the arguments really well, but they could be more concise. They're often very long and belabored. Like, longer than anyone's likely to actually sit down and patiently watch all the way through. That's the only criticism, though. Other than that, his content is great. Interesting. He is American. Well, that could mean anything. It could have come from... It could have immigrated. We live in a nation of immigrants. When the lights be doing that, you know some fucked up shit's about to happen. Apparently hell has a poor quality power grid. Where's that coming from? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, we're all going to be doing that for like a decade. X, formerly known as Twitter. Subject was lured away by a brief phone call. Power is cut. Phone remains on. It's assumed the subject also noticed this. Actually, phones work without power, don't they? They're powered through the phone lines. There's nothing paranormal about that, to my knowledge. This is pretty spoopy, though. The security camera perspective is pretty cool. Uh-oh. Well. Crisis actor. Cool waveform. Maybe if you were a little friendlier, geez. Oh, she's dead. Subject was killed by entity during phone call with crisis actor. Continued the entity capability test. Agents were deployed to clean the scene such that call center employees suspect nothing. Both subjects and security guard bodies disposed of. Scene is ready for more testing. Return to the scene, 1986. Longer brief clips happened at 6:03 a.m. Behavior and abilities that entity will be discussed after. Interesting. This is like an SCP entry. Oh, fuck. Making use of ceiling space. Position itself as at the entrance. Oh, that scared me. Scary fucking model. I wonder if it is copied from Penumbra.
My lucky number is 9.
Oh, come on, you fucking shitter. Jump scare me, will ya? Say, ain't gonna stand. The classification of the entity will discuss next slide. Mass casualty event was blamed on Ashley Johnson. After being fired, committed a mass shooting. Media suppression techniques were used to ensure the news didn't escape local level. Knuckle Walker. That's severe. Containment difficult. Utility significant. Really? What are you going to use this thing for? Exactly. That is actually not the monster from Penumbra, though. I spoke too soon. I don't know what that is. Entity possesses ability psychologically torment and kill with ease. Entity is self-aware and acknowledges observations from ERD. Entity is intelligent despite its appearance, being able to use and understand technology to further torment victims. Entity is often dormant with very few sightings. These reasons have been classified as 3 severe. Estimated to be less than 10 entities capable of using backdoors to disappear. ERD has yet to capture or kill entity. Entity enjoys being chased, setting traps, and hunting ERD agents. The reasons it's been classified as 4 difficult. Unlikely to be able to manipulate entity. Entity likely to kill victim once it selects its prey. Often psychologically torments victims. Potentially uses deployment to enemy territory. Deployment against the EOS enemy of state. Torture interrogation. EAD must learn how to get entity to target a person of interest. Despite limitations, it's been classified as 4 significant. Additional funding is needed for the capture of E-139. Additional research is needed to unlock the utility. Additional tools are needed to detect entity to prevent agent death and increase research opportunities. Research into the appearance of backdoors remains top priority. Control backdoors could provide a way to capture E-139. It is imperative to maintain strict operational security and keep the general public uninformed of these operations to prevent any unnecessary panic or interference. That was really cool. I like that. I didn't expect to. It looked kind of generic starting out. It still is basically an SCP game. That was fun though. Creepy monster design, creepy scenarios. Story doesn't end here. Read the associated No Sleep story by Jeremy Fisher. Next game. I don't think I will, but I mean I might. This is all pretty basic by the book stuff. This is the sort of thing where if you ever saw this in real life and were persuaded of its legitimacy, you could never sleep again. Like, because no matter where you are in the world, you could never unknow the fact that real monsters exist and can appear anywhere they want to. You would never feel safe again, and you all you could do is basically just drink or use drugs or kill yourself. It's a cognito hazard, knowing that in fact the world is not purely governed by laws of physics and that some things exist that are completely outside of your understanding and paradigm. That was really neat. I appreciate they're trying to do more with this too, because it has potential. It really seems like the sort of thing that should just be an SCP game, though. Let's hang on, there's something I want to show you guys. Is there a fucking X application? I wonder. Is there an X desktop app? There should be. It's just Twitter, isn't it? It is. It's just not rebranded yet. There's some viral videos I want to show you that creep me out. This is entirely CGI. Have I shown this before? I was impressed out of my mind when I learned none of this is real footage. This even the humans are CGI. Dude, don't touch that. Don't get so close to it. Why would you get that close? Then it gets goofy at the end. It is scary good. Then it gets fucking dumb at the end. 'Cause it's fucking Freddy Krueger. Or Mr. X. It was so good up until that point. If it had just been the animal scenes lacking context. Can you imagine? They ruined it right at the end. But I'm not as surprised by this as I used to be because there's more than one Backrooms found footage channel where the quality of the CGI is so good you can't tell that it's a. This is cringe. Dumb added lore by 12-year-olds that makes it less scary. These are the videos I'm talking about. The Backrooms videos by Return to Render are also 100% CGI, but they're done so well, especially with the shaky cam and the filters, that you can't. I don't think you can tell that it's entirely CGI. You might assume that about the environments, but the characters are just mocap 3D models. Animation's a bit sus. The visual quality looks photorealistic though. They used to be more modest, and they got goofier once people were in on it. Once everybody knew it was CGI, they started to do some more outlandish stuff. But yeah. There's a playlist somewhere here. Here it is. I've got a whole collection of classic short horror. It's quite extensive. I broke something and now I can't seem to add to it anymore. But I've got some of my faves on here, including Kinoko, meaning mushroom, the original Silent Hill concept film that was used to pitch the game. There's Nothing, classic one. I've got I Feel Fantastic, Forest God, of course. Excuse me. Bunch of David Firth stuff. It feels like so dreamlike. It feels like a music video, kind of. But the CGI is very 1999, which is when this was made. But it might even be 98. I first saw this film in college. It was life-changing. Just the concept of me wandering in the woods and stumbling across some extra-dimensional organism. Having the opportunity to extinguish it or to let it grow. It's a lot of really weird David Lynch type stuff. Silent Hill was originally inspired mostly by Jacob's Ladder. If you ever wanted to see a Silent Hill film, although the actual Silent Hill movie was pretty good, but the film was mostly based on was Jacob's Ladder. It's so hard to find a clean rip of this anymore. It's all right, yeah. It's one of the cases of the inspirational derivative being better than the source material. Jacob's Ladder walked so Silent Hill could run. Although, and I've talked about this, I'm an enjoyer of Silent Hill 1. I thought I was the only one until recently. I met another person who articulated my exact views so perfectly. Better than I could myself. Silent Hill 1 is better than Silent Hill 2 in my view for the same reason that Alien, the first Alien film, is better than the much later ones. Like Prometheus or Covenant, where they just threw whatever ideas they had at the wall. Because they had an unlimited budget and the technology freed them of their constraints. But the constraints were important. The constraints on Silent Hill 1 and Alien 1 forced them to make a more focused film with a narrower scope. And they had trimmed out a lot of fat to achieve some fraction of their vision. And they achieved a purer result because of that. Because they were forced to work within constraints. The first Silent Hill, the monsters aren't as good. That's the one downside. The monsters are not as are not as intelligently and creatively crafted. But the gameplay, it's much less expansive, which can be a good thing. There's a lot going on in Silent Hill 2 that it just seems superfluous. It's a cluttered game compared to 1. 1 is only exactly what it needs to be and contains all of the strongest emotional punches, like when Lisa Garland figures out she's actually not alive and hasn't been for the whole game. Spoiler alert. Or the thing with his wife and her doppelganger. Uh, that all gets retreaded in Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is almost more of a remake of 1 as the game they wanted to make, but they couldn't for lack of budget and lack of technology. But I think they learned something about themselves in the process of making 2 and realizing maybe not having any limitations isn't the blessing that it seems to be. Because Silent Hill 3 was, again, more focused on the mall setting and had a much more compelling central theme of the body horror of adolescence and unwanted formative experiences compared to Boo-hoo, I killed my wife because I didn't want to care for her anymore. Everybody treats 2 as the magnum opus, as like the iconic Silent Hill game. I think it's just because that's when most people got into it. I don't think I think it's a strong showing. I think it probably has the first with one exception. It was the first time they really nailed down their monster design. The monsters in 2 are what they should have done in 1, and they just didn't know where they wanted to go with that yet. 2 has the beginning of the iconic Team Silent monsters that we would see for the rest of the series. So that's the only thing lacking in 1. If it wasn't for that, if they remastered 1 and they put the new monster designs into it, it would be basically a perfect game. Which is kind of what they did with the PSP game. The PSP game was a return to form. It's pretty good. I've mostly when I played Silent Hill 1, I mostly emulated on a handheld though that has the correct aspect ratio, and I don't mind the graphical downgrade because of the advent of indie PS1 style horror. It kind of fits it now. It doesn't seem to have aged at all. Oh, my cat wants in. Come here, you little gremlin. Come here, gremlin. Come on. You scream. You scream. Don't you want in? Come on. Come on. Come here, you. Little Zorb. She's so anxious. She's been crying a lot lately. I don't know what about. I think it's because the room smells funny because I set off bug bombs. Silent Hill 1 is a masterpiece. It just has a... Like I said, it only falls down on the monsters. It has ho-hum monsters. It's got like a dog, like Resident Evil had. It's got like the bat creature. It's got like the little babies. It's just not as inspired. The second one really was the full bloom of the intended art style, but that's the only way in which I feel 2 was objectively an improvement over 1. 1 had all the essentials and only the essentials, and it was a very, very lean, efficient experience because of that. That's my piece. I'll say. I also think all the same things about Alien 1 and Terminator for that matter. Terminator 2 is the classic action movie, but people forget Terminator started out as a slasher film, and it was stronger when we were still afraid of the robot, and the stop motion actually makes the robot scarier. Because it's all herky-jerky like a machine. You can blame some of that on the monster not being fresh anymore. Like, people weren't scared of the T-800 by Terminator 2 because they had already seen what it looked like. They had the genius idea of hiding the monster inside of, like, human flesh instead of hiding it in shadows. And revealing it a little bit at a time by removing the flesh in Terminator 1, which was a masterstroke for the genre. But when it outgrew the slasher genre, it also outgrew some of its appeal to me. I'm almost basically feel like the right way to go for Terminator 7, which is happening, by the way, apparently, is to return to slasher formula, but do it in the future. I don't want to see modern day anymore. Future war slasher with a single Terminator hunting down someone who's sufficiently disempowered, like not a TechCom soldier, not a resistance fighter, but like a regular scavenging mother and her child or something, where the stakes are high and she doesn't have the weapons that she needs to stop it, which restores the threatening aura of the singular Terminator. It's just more like that. I'm going to test out the controller support now. Special offer. Ultimate Chicken Horse. I'm actually quite content with not having that. Is this just a movie? Yeah, it's just a movie. It's the concept. It's like a visual portfolio to communicate the vibe that they were going for when they pitched the game to Konami, I think it was. It didn't, and they described the mechanics that they intended, but they really wanted to communicate like the art style and the sound design. And that is basically what we got, more or less. The Pack Attack. I still don't have the remastered platformer. Let's see if the gamepad works, though. Cryware. Pac-Man runs on the fucking Crysis engine? Are you kidding me? That's adorable. Controller does work. Does it work better than it... Well, what I had before this, I actually... I had to return it. I had a combination Wi-Fi and Bluetooth USB dongle because the card won't fit in my computer. I bought the internal card for that, and the GPU is so huge it covers up both PCIe mini slots. Just barely. Like the card, it's so frustrating. The card almost fits, but it just didn't quite. So I had to accept my fate of adding Wi-Fi and Bluetooth via USB. So the combined dongle didn't have an antenna, and I didn't realize the difference that would make. That I had a single antenna adapter I borrowed from my media center PC, which got about 45 megabits per second. I went to the small dongle without an antenna. It went all the way down to 18 megabits per second. Then I returned that through Amazon Returns. So I'm like, fuck this. I don't care how small it is. I need better bandwidth. And I got a external adapter that sits on top of the PC with a cable and has two antennas, and it gets 118 megabits per second. I didn't realize it could make that big of a difference. What a fool I've been all this time. It greatly impacts the speed with which, for example, levels load in VRChat. I wish I had known sooner. I've been leaving bandwidth on the table my whole life. It's kind of fucky. I can't control this thing. Oh, there the D-pad works now. Oh, it disconnected briefly. Little cat. Little cat friend. Cat fellow. No cat fella. She's very fascinated by what happens inside the computer. Now that she can see inside of it through a window in the side of the case. She's always peering inside there to see the case fans. She hears something spinning in there, and she hears the sounds it makes. Now she can see like pulsing lights and movement. It sets off her little hunter brain. Thinking maybe there's a mouse in there. D-pad occasionally just stops working. That's cool. RF is more reliable, but I don't have the dongle for that yet. Joystick works alright. You know what the world needs and doesn't have yet? Is an Xbox style control pad that has a rotary analog knob in the center of it. Because that's normally unused space anyway. But a rotary knob would actually have a lot of uses for like driving games, for analog steering, for like Tempest style games, for paddle games like Arkanoid, for MAME, as a weapon selector. That won't do, will it? Am I wrong? Wouldn't that be handy? I always forget one thing, at least one thing. Cat is very suspicious of the inside of this bedroom now because of the smell of the bug bomb residue. I don't blame her. Let's see what the mice are up to. I also have this now, so... I mean this. Oops. No, that's not it. What the fuck? That's not it. I had a background at one point. Mice are not doing anything. I don't know. I'll fix this off camera. Oh, it's really generous with the countdown. Not as precise as I would like. I'm hoping RF fixes that. I'm one of like a dozen people in the world who still cares about Atari, but I probably won't buy their console. I don't see any good reason to. They don't have any exclusives. I would like to buy their joystick, but apparently their joystick is designed not to work with MAME. So people don't just buy the joystick and emulate their shit. Which is a shame, because their joystick is actually really innovatively designed. The joystick itself rotates. So the joystick doubles as a twisty knob controller. Not precise enough to work. So yeah, that twisty knob joystick is what got me thinking about the fact that if you want to play games on the Atari console, you have to choose if you're going to use the joystick controller or the gamepad. When the perfect blend of both, because nobody really wants to use the joystick for most things. Nobody wants a digital joystick in this, the year of our Lord 2023, but they do want the twisty analog knob. That adds something. No, I don't, Snowbunny. Please stop bothering me about that. So why don't you combine the best of both worlds and have a Xbone style gamepad with a rotary analog spinner knob dead center, and put the power buttons and select and start buttons somewhere else on the gamepad, so that those aren't taking up that space. Because a spinner is really nice to have. It's the sort of thing where you don't know what you're missing out on until you try one. I've tried one because I went to Portland Classic Gaming Expo, where they were selling rotary analog spinners to play Tempest 2000 with on your Jaguar, or Tempest 3000 with on your new one. It feels really good when you have a good quality one. I think that would add a lot to a console and help it stand out and set it apart. Ending game. Are you gonna do it? Evidently not. You know, we stopped playing. We stopped playing Industria because my CPU wasn't up to it. You think my CPU is up to it now? Maybe. Fingers crossed. Let's see if this actually runs properly now. I guess Pac-Man is one of the few games that you want a digital joystick for, isn't it? Come to think of it. Let's fuck with the... nope, that's not right. That's better. Let's crank up all the graphics. Graphisk. No motion blur. I think that should be fine now that we have a proper CPU. But we're still going to be stuck in the same place we used to be. So if I remember, the plot of this is there's a steampunk isekai. You went through the Resonance Cascade machine from Half-Life. And it isekai'd you
All
to
right.
a
I
steampunk
got
fantasy
eyes on town
world.
hall. It's close.
Well then, don't get yourself killed at the last hurdle. Just up that hill, and you're there.
Thanks for the heads up, old man.
Oh, anytime.
I really don't have any ammo. It figures. So you gonna get up? This run's way the fuck better now. As I suppose I had every right to expect from the beginning. So this really was CPU bound the entire time. I was gonna say I don't think it can be RAM. I don't think it'd be the GPU either. This is not really that new of a game. What's good, Strider Gift? We're finally playing Industry again. Yeah, you missed a really cool spooper game. It was based on security camera footage. It is. It is. I remember this getting dinged in reviews because it really looks like Half-Life 2. It's not Half-Life 2 though. It's an isekai. It's a steampunk isekai. You get to the. You use a dimensional travel machine of some description. It's basically the Resonance Cascade machine from Half-Life 1. You use it to travel to another dimension where there's still a monarchy. And on top of there still being a monarchy, everything is sort of antiquated and fanciful. It's like a fantasy world. And the guy that you're chasing is like Oz in the Wizard of Oz. He corrupts this fantasy world by bringing high technology to it. And it turns out they're really good at technology. It just didn't occur to them somehow. So they achieve like the singularity within like 5 years of his arrival.
All right. I got eyes on town hall. It's close.
Well then, don't get yourself killed at the last hurdle. Just up that hill, and you're there.
Thanks for the heads up, old man.
Oh, anytime.
Where'd the other one go? Where's the other one? So somehow, you got fucking rampant AI from one guy from the modern. He's not even from the modern world. He's from a parallel history. East Germany. So he's like from 1989 or something, or 87. Where they just have way the fuck better technology somehow. Okay, performance has started to take a shit again. Hang on. Let's turn off the ray tracing stuff. Is it just a memory leak, I wonder? Yes it is. It's just the reflections. I'm feeling very exposed. I hear him, but I don't see him. Don't go in the sewer. It's really, when the game runs well, it's quite fascinating. Atmospherically. I wouldn't say it's the best shooter. It has some really confusingly designed parts. But it's an interesting mishmash of other things that I already like. It's got like steampunk, Skynet, Alice in Wonderland, Eastern Europe. Which sounds like a bunch of prompts you would put into an AI to generate a picture. Which just winds up being like a steampunk cosplay anime girl with two sets of boobs growing out of her head. Which, that's fine too. That's also okay. Oh, that's a lucky set of shots. Nice bunch of shots there. Got some lucky sucker punches. That should be all of them. Don't you come in here. Come on. I should probably make a wise use of these, though, huh? Because those are some of the only ways to take out the guys that actually have machine guns. Are there any more of those left? Let me go back and save if I can. I know it's a little bit cheaty. I don't really care though, because this was a really tough section. Huh. Remember what a tough time I had running this back on the old CPU? It apparently is very CPU bound. I wouldn't expect that from this. It certainly doesn't look good enough to warrant how it runs, which is not very well optimized at all. It does just look like Half-Life 2, doesn't it? And Half-Life 2 came out in 2004. Steampunk Terminators, man. Although, are they really? I mean, no, I haven't seen anything steam powered. It's got that vibe to it, though. It's got sort of a shitty Tesla punk vibe. Can't open. Can't open. Watch there be a save point right at the end of this. That really does. Do I get anything? What was he carrying? It's a shame though that this is so poorly optimized. I would love to play this in VR. VR would really add to this a lot, I feel. You okay, buddy? Sit close to some cover here. This game really loves to sucker punch you. So this game's got all the bells and whistles for ray tracing, but it doesn't look any better for them. It still just looks like a fucking 2012, 2013 game. This came out in 2018, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Cool invisible wall here. Cool. That's fine. I'm not mad. It's a love-hate relationship. I have good things to say about this and bad things to say.
I think I found Town Hall.
You know, I'm actually quite curious to know what's in there after all these years.
Hopefully not too many things that want to kill me.
If it comforts you, they don't really want anything, technically. Game saved. Okay, good. Are you gonna get up? I like these little guys. It's a cool design. There's so much to like about this game. Aesthetically. It combines so many really cool themes. It just falls down in a few small areas. It's got a little bit of Bioshock. It's got a little bit of Fallout, kind of. It's got a lot of Half-Life 2. I'm glad I finally have a computer that can run it properly. What was I thinking buying an i5? In fucking 2017. I could have at least gotten an i7 and it would have lasted longer. By the way, thank you for who was it? Camu? Camu bought me a pizza last stream, or 2 streams ago, and I still remember that. That was really generous and kind of you. You preserved my life. When you feed Hamdad, you preserve Hamdad's life. Alley-oop. I shouldn't do that. One of the reviews said that it has a bad habit of corrupting your saves. I should have more than one save. There we go. I don't know if it's their first game or what.
No one's here.
I would have been more surprised if there was. Take a look around. Anything?
Looks like he took the train towards the coast. North of the city?
The Doom Chapel, of course.
How do I get there?
Well, there's a train in the town hall station. Needs filling up with water and coal, but it should still run.
Okay, I will leave right now.
Wait,
So this is kind of like...
you have to cross the old canal to reach the city gate. It's no man's land.
Tesla Punk Terminator.
For a long time.
It's supposed to pop, except
I
that
have any
the
other
nukes never
choice?
dropped.
Thanks for warning me, but I need to go, no matter what.
Alright, just don't say I didn't warn you.
This is just fucking Reddit tier Terminator Resistance, where instead of being a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, it's a post-apocalyptic steampunk fantasy world, but which is also crawling with killer robots. Because apparently somebody was dumb enough to make a self-copying machine. This is what happens. Do you want killer robots? Because that's how you get them. That's the shittiest flashlight in the world, too. I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you. Nice try. Very, very atmospheric. There's so many games just like that. With like fundamental design problems. Bad programming, bugs, slowdown, bad level design, confusing objectives. But they're totally saved just by atmosphere. I've talked about that before, about how even just one really good song in the OST can change your memory of a game from bad memory to good memory. I see any lads down there? Sniping robots. But I love robots. Why must you make me kill my buddies? Oh, here we go. I don't wish to go down that way. Pretty basic, competent platforming. There's not a lot to dislike except for the fact that it runs like dog shit. And it has some confusing level design. That's really minor nitpicks, but they're enough to really significantly diminish enjoyment of the game. Not ruin it though. I'm having a good time. You know what actually has more serious issues, but I give it even more leeway to? Necrovision. Any of y'all ever played Necrovision? Now that's a fucking fever dream. There we go. Those guys can take out a huge chunk of your health by exploding. I don't really want to tangle with them right now. Oh, there's one more left over there. Gotta get stopping power. I don't like to waste a shell on them either. But they fucking explode. You don't really have a choice. If it wasn't for that, they would be like the Hound Eye of this game. Oh, invisible wall. Charming. Never mind. Wait, yes, it is an invisible wall. Like, the polish just isn't quite there. There's so many good things that you'd want to love about this game. It does so many things right. It shows so much promise. It breaks my heart that I don't love it. I like it alright, though. It knows what it wants to be, for the most part. It's actually got a lot of DNA in common with Quake. Let me substantiate that. You travel through a dimensional rift to another world that's mostly industrial machinery. His weapons are kind of Quake-y also. They look kind of like tools, and they're improvised. And you got an axe. Anyone else got their fingers crossed for a Quake sequel, like Quake 5, set in the Quake 1 universe? They could even completely copy the gameplay from Doom 2016 and Eternal and just transplant it into the Quake universe. I don't care. You have my blessing. You have my full permission to do that. Even better if you do, John Carmack. As if he watches my stream. Of course he does. Only the coolest dudes watch my stream. But the thing is, I feel like I've got my finger on the pulse of the Quake fandom. Because that's what everybody else is saying that too. Oftentimes I'm alone. I'm the only one who feels a certain way. Like, I'm the only one who gives a shit about fucking new Atari games, for example. Not this time. Not this time. Every time you go to a Quake thread on the Twitter profile of id Software or a Quake-related stuff, everyone's like, when are we going to get a continuation of Quake 1? There are some freaks out there who want more Strogg. I like the Strogg too. I was a big fan of the cyborg body horror, but I feel like it got done justice to in Quake 4. That was the fullest and purest and most visceral expression of the Strogg body horror theme. We don't need more Strogg. We also got enemy territory. Did people forget about enemy territory already? Quake Wars? So, Strogg fans, you already got what you wanted. Don't be greedy. Let us Quake 1 fans have a crumb, okay? Just a mere crumb is all I ask of you. I heard something. So let me complain less. Let me be less of a negative Nancy. What do I like about this game? I like the fact that it puts me into a setting which combines many things I find appealing and interesting, and it puts a gun in my hands and says shoot stuff. Shoot. Do violence in this Tesla punk fantasy world with cool old-timey technology. And the gun designs are cool. They're very industrial, which is as they're supposed to be. It's called Industria. I like industrial-themed stuff. I think the level design is beautiful if it's not really well thought out from a flow standpoint. At its best, the gunplay is really fun and feels sort of pseudo-tactical. I mean, it's not really. It's like Babby tactical. But to the same extent that the best parts of Half-Life 2 did when you're fighting the Combine. Which is a compliment in this case, because that's what this game is really trying to ape. It's trying to be a better Half-Life 2. Does it succeed? No, but it comes close. It comes close to being like an alright Half-Life 2 clone. The dangerous encounters with Atlas are connected to the big machine at the Institute. Not with Velvelstad. Oh, he blamed it on the enemy kingdom. We have a good chance to shut down the machine if we manage to find more people who are against Rosendale's politics. I don't know what to do about this. Absolute Chad shows up out of nowhere through a dimensional portal. It says, hey, what a lovely, humanistic, warm, rich European setting. Why don't I destroy this by inventing Skynet?
All right. I'm good to go.
Good. While you find your way out of there, I think I might go put the kettle on.
Well, it's so nice to know that someone's got your back.
You're welcome.
Har har har. Don't know if this is gonna work or not. I think I might have to find Cole first. No, I don't. It starts. That would have been an easy extra 5 minutes of gameplay if you made me fight my way through robots to locate Cole for the train. But you know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna complain that I didn't get to slog through more. Actually, the firefights are the highlight of this game so far. Especially the sniper battles. Sniping distant robots and hiding behind cover. It feels good. It feels a lot like Half-Life 2, which is, again, what this game was going for. They mostly accomplished what they set out to do. I suppose if you are gonna shoot for the moon, you should really go for it. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars and then slowly drift into the void and asphyxiate as you run out of oxygen. Look, it's a flat earther's trigger room. They don't like it here. This place has some of the vibe of Control. We need to go back to Control and finish that someday. I don't know when. I'm not promising anything. Remember Control? That game where you're like a telekinetic Karen asking to see everybody's manager. What is this David Lynch bullshit? Yon Orb. Is he pondering the orb, or are we meant to ponder the orb? Perhaps because this takes place in a communist country, the orb ponders us. I'll watch those segments on YouTube later. Figure out if I'm missing anything. I keep remembering games I quit because my poor shitty CPU couldn't keep up, and now I'm making a list of what games to come back to. I haven't even reached the upgrade ceiling for this motherboard yet either. This CPU was on paper about a 75% performance increase, but it's in practice it's worked out to be about a 50%. There is a further 50% increase over this CPU that's still possible with the 5950X or whatever. There's one that's slightly better for gaming because there's a larger on-die cache.
Of course.
But I do a lot of productivity
Hey,
work,
do you
so
read
I don't
me?
need
The gates are closed.
Short Talk has talked me out of that. Short Talk has convinced me I don't need the gaming CPU.
Actually,
I need the productivity CPU because that's
I don't know.
what's gonna frustrate me the
What,
most
you don't
and
know
hamstring
the name
me.
of your queen?
I am unbelievably sorry. Your highest of highnesses. Now tell me your name, or I won't tell you how to get over that gate.
I'm Nora. Nora Rosendahl, I guess.
Nice to meet
That's
you.
like the 5800 XT, isn't it? Start a GIF? Or 3D? X3D?
I am Brent.
That's what I was looking at, but Short Talk was like, that's not what you want.
Your service.
I tend to trust him on
There's
this
a
stuff.
control room above the gate there. You have to cross the beach and some buildings behind it to reach it.
Alright.
There's
Is that bad? I mean, the motherboard and power supply are
What is it?
outfitted to handle that, aren't they?
I used to live here, you know, before the war.
There's a case to be made for the
Vic was evacuated. I was wounded.
the 5800 3D. If I wanted mostly a gaming computer. But I make videos. I render videos, and it currently takes me fucking all night to render one. Or it used to. I haven't tried it out on the new CPU yet.
I was hoping that you would take something with you to the sea.
Of course, anything. Is it far off my trail?
Oh, no. It's on the way. Just look for a blue apartment building with a greenhouse on the roof. It's the only one in this area.
Alright. I'll keep an eye out.
I'm persuaded by Short Talk. I already have a good enough CPU for gaming now. I don't think that's going to be what I mostly want out of a new CPU when I upgrade next. I think it's going to be like having Vegas Pro run faster when it renders shit. Because I want to get more into AI content creation. Looking back on it, it's kind of wild that I struggled along with an i5 for as long as I did. That's like trying to stream on a Super Nintendo. I want more cores, right? More cores equals more better. Even more better. It's the goodest. The gooderest. I don't like that. Nope, I'm not here. Nobody here but us robots. Beep boop bop blorp. No reason to suspect there's a human anywhere.
Brent? I've just entered that big building behind the beach.
What the fuck is this thing? I don't like this. This has got buzzsaws for a head. Whoa, this is like my dream. My recurring industrial nightmare has these exact machines in it. What are these? You know that dream that when I'm depressed, I go to that like 100-year-old industrial facility? It's got a bunch of these, but they're rusted green. They're like oxidized. Is this a press? Is it a lathe? That's what this is, Strider. I never put that together, actually. It's not a Russian setting, though. But it does really have that vibe. I was going to say Bioshock, but I guess Atomic Heart is more on the nose. I like there's people concerned with making sure that my stream setup is good. I feel so cared about. I never knew that was... I know this is going to sound corny. This is 100% corny, but it's also 100% true. I never knew that the real treasure, the real benefit of streaming was going to be the friends I made along the way. Oh, ah! Like the Andy Sweetie animation. But really, legit. I was not a popular guy. I feel like I am now. Or at least it's a convincing illusion of popularity. I met people who are like me, who like my style, who I resonate with, and you can't put a price on that. I met good friends, friendly friends, who care about me and who think about me. I don't like those, whatever those are. Those are not my favorite. Can I use this as a club? That's the risk, though. That's the risk and the reward of putting yourself out there on the internet before a wide audience. People who didn't know about you, who might like you, will discover that you exist and network with you. Whereas if you're a pessimist, like I tend to be, you only think about the liability, about the risk inherent in bringing yourself to the wider attention, especially if you were much more cringe when you were younger and you learned from experience that you won't go over well with most people. But things aren't always as bad as they possibly can be, is I guess the takeaway. Sometimes good things happen too. I like that sound. Oh, baby. Ooh, I don't like that. They are creepy. They've got a certain charm to their design. They've also got spooky, herky-jerky robot vibes. How else can you do that in the modern day with our super isolated society? How else can you make new friends and discover cool new people? There's not like speed dating for bros that I know of. Is there? It's not like meet. Do you think dudes would show up for that? I feel like they would because it's wholesome. Like meet new bros. Bro meet bro. Bro working. Bro networking. Networking. If it's neat, is it neat working or is it not working? Either one of those kinds of works or doesn't, as the case may be. God, this would be so good if they could justify the expense and time to go back and not remaster it. It still looks good, but like fix up the code and retool some of the environments to be less like a 15-year-old's first Quake 2 map. Uh-oh. That's what those do. They're big dog, basically. But with buzzsaws. What a terrifying concept. This is what I was talking about earlier, about how everybody is productized by capitalism. I'm productized too, but if you find a situation where it works out nicely, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, I would want to play video games anyway. I would want to hang out with bros while I play video games anyway. So if there's a way to hook up all those linkages together in a way that makes money, I have no complaints. And that's when capitalism feels utopian. It's when things don't hook... Oh, shit. It's when you're forced to do things you don't want to do, which is most of the time that it feels bad and bad Pepe. Feels bad, man. I don't think it's a problem with capitalism. I think it's a problem with how we pair people with work. Hakovic, where these hostile steel machines have been spotted. Forest workers are on the way home. 3 or 4. Cannot give any exact details. There's no trace of the forest workers. Like to be made. Any suggestions? Cool. This, you know what this is the exact same as? This is the same setting as 9. The movie with like the sack boy. 9 also had a sort of a imperial kingdom of European design that was overtaken by steampunk or Tesla punk Skynet. I need to stop saying steampunk. This is not steampunk. This is Tesla punk, and steampunk is Reddit anyways. Tesla punk is still unsullied. Tesla punk was always cooler than steampunk anyway. It's got all the funny old technologies that you see on a YouTube channel, like Technology Connections. But as like a theme. Vacuum tubes and Nixie tubes. And flywheels. And Jacob's ladders. And Tesla coils. Uh-oh. Don't you come up here. You're fine where you are. Wasted those shells. I shouldn't have done that. Big fat waste of ammo. I love Nixie tubes too. I really need somebody's help talking me out of a Nixie tube watch. You seen the Nixie tube watch? It does nothing but tell time. It has terrible shit battery life because it's Nixie tubes. But it tells time with real Nixie tubes. I have a skin on my smartwatch. A watch face that simulates Nixie tubes, but it's not the same. I'm so fucking tempted every day of my life to go to Etsy and get a Nixie tube watch. I just don't have that kind of money to throw away on such frivolities. That'd be the first thing when I win the lottery, though. I mean, second thing after I pay out for my debts. Actually, I wouldn't need to pay off my debts if I won the lottery. Because I could just buy a house in cash, and that's the only thing I'm really blocked away from. Because I was able to buy my car with Bitcoin. There. Any ammo? There's a bunch of the machine gun guys. I don't deal well with those without sniper ammo. Uh-oh. Well, what's my fucking plan now? What's this down here? Speak of the devil. And he shall appear. But none of it was sniper ammo. Cool. Awesome. Good. Just smash my balls with a rock, why don't you? Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. I worry that I sound like an insane person to anybody without an encyclopedic knowledge of the past 30 years of memes. That's about how old the internet is, right? 30 years? Thereabouts. What a terrifying thought. Well. You did. Cock and ball torture Yoda. Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Yes? Oh, it's still loading. I got set back quite a long ways, actually.
Brent? I've just entered that big building behind the beach. Is this the right way?
Look how many different humanoid types there are. There would be. I also like they're not super advanced like Terminators. They're more like clunky. Like the stuff that Uncle Sam is getting close to building. I've been reading articles about that. A lot of things are happening now, as of late, that are the result of a bunch of like a confluence of other developments that are coming together to make things possible that we've been hearing about for decades. We've got like, for the past several decades, like 20, 30 years, Asimo was the last word in humanoid robots, and nobody could do any better than Asimo. And then within the past like 2 years, there have been a dozen humanoid robot startup companies. Because the batteries got good enough, the accelerometers got cheap enough, all the different puzzle pieces fell into place. And flying cars, like what did we have for flying cars? We had Paul Moeller and his investment scam for the last several decades. And then all of a sudden, you've got like 20, 25 flying car startups who are actually making vehicles that really fly. And they're signing deals with the FAA to permit them to fly, and they're opening vertiports. And it's getting real all of a sudden. That's how I feel the Singularity is going to be. I don't believe in a hard takeoff. A hard takeoff is like some shit out of a cartoon. Where you go to bed one day, and you wake up the next day and you look outside and there's fucking robots and space lasers. The world is utterly transformed overnight and it's unrecognizable. I don't think that's going to happen. Because there's material and energy constraints on how fast development can happen. I think the Singularity is going to be more subtle. It's going to be more like you're walking through Best Buy and you look over, and on the shelf they're selling a home genetic engineering kit to create your own animal. And you think to yourself, wait a minute, what? Is that really possible now? And shit just that you had filed away in your brain under forever impossible or forever science fiction pipe dream suddenly becomes possible while you weren't looking. And it becomes possible much faster than you have any frame of reference for for technological progress happening. Because again, it's building on these converging trends that's unlocking bottlenecks that prevented meaningful progress from happening in those fields for many, many years. So we're, I think, on the verge of having humanoid robots and that are actually good, that are useful for doing work. And flying cars. And we already have VR, and we have Roombas, and we have electric cars. The future is real. It just doesn't reach everybody at the same time. It reaches early adopters who have a lot of money first. And it doesn't arrive on time. So far, it looks like it's going to be about 24, 25 years late. Compared to all like the predictions that we'd have all the shit by the year 2000. So it's just overly optimistic, but the predictions are basically more or less spot on. It's gonna happen with warfighting robots too. I don't like the sounds those make at all. They make me feel decidedly uncomfy. Rarely have I felt less comfy than hearing one of those things scream at me. How dare they? How dare they do that? I can't skip this part. I need the ammo that's down there. How come there's no FPS where you're a fat guy? You can't see past your belly and you get out of breath really easily. And you have to stop and rest going upstairs. Or have it be a mechanic in the game where you eat food to gain health back, but the food that heals the most damage is also the most fattening. So you gain weight in game. And then you have to work it off by running around to lose weight, otherwise you're encumbered. Has anyone done that? Is that an idea that's already been used? This is a pretty good game of giving, pretty good job, excuse me, of giving you just enough ammo. You save my game, or continue with this. Not this way. Don't you crash on me. Even with the new CPU, it's still finding a way to run like shit. Or this is not great. So I'm really liking this new watch battery. I installed it around noon and it's now down to 95%. It's got 50 more amp hours or milliamp hours than the old one. It's the Chinese battery though, so I'm gonna store it in a metal box. Then again, almost all fucking smart devices have Chinese batteries now. You can't escape it. It's funny, in China, most of the electric cars are switching over to LiFePO, lithium iron phosphate, specifically because their lithium ion ones kept fucking exploding, and they need a more abuse-tolerant battery chemistry. But they still sell the lithium ion ones to the United States. They're still selling that shit in e-bikes to us. I guess it's okay if it blows up here, but not there. Ow! That was inopportune. This could use some music. Haven't really noticed any good music yet. Machine gun is shit in this game. Shotgun's good. Thank goodness for that. Oh, it would not be as redeemable as it is without a good shotgun. Has Civi done a video on this yet, I wonder? I haven't actually checked. I'd be shocked. Shocked if he hasn't. I get him. Not that one. Come on, come and get it. You stuck up there? Oh, he's stuck. He doesn't know what to do. Put you out of your misery. That was kind of kawaii for a second. What are you looking at for full EV short talk? Based on my own research, you need at least 200 miles, which means a Bolt or higher, if it's going to be your main car or your only car. You can't really do it with the mid-gen like Leaf 2, which is like 150 miles. It's not really good enough. You actually need a little bit more than 200 because that's assuming no wrong turns. If you make a wrong turn, you need a little bit of margin for error so you can get back on the right freeway. So that limits your options. Although electric cars are getting cheaper and cheaper, the new improved Chevy EV, the Equinox EUV or whatever it is cheaper than the Bolt, has a bigger battery slightly, and charges like 4 times faster. It's new battery chemistry, and it costs less money, because that was one of the improvements they made to the chemistry, is finding a battery chemistry that costs less to make. Well, hear me out, short talk. If you can afford one with a battery that's good enough for that, by all means do it. The prices are great these days. If you do go for a plug-in hybrid again, consider the BMW i3 Rex. The only downside is the tire. Actually, never mind. Don't do that, because that would be bad for icy roads. It has skinny ass little tires. Never mind, actually. Unless you're willing to spend the money to swap the wheels on it for bigger tires. Because i3 Rex is basically a full electric car, but with an anemic battery of 70-mile range. And then 60 miles of gas. So it's just a different ratio of gas to battery. But yeah, the best deal, dollar per mile of range on a fully electric car, is the new Equinox EV. It's got a great range. It's got... The most important thing it has is actually the fast charging. It charges way the fuck faster than the Bolt. The one thing most Bolt owners complain about, even though the price is right on a used Bolt, and I mean really right, they charge slow as molasses. They just don't make full use of modern fast chargers. And that really sucks if you're going to be using it in Alaska. Imagine sitting in the snow at a charger, and you're not even guaranteed to find a working charger because they don't take care of their fucking infrastructure. And sitting there for like an hour to wait to get a full charge out of that thing. That's a shame, short talk. The Equinox happens to be the car that has the best ratio of in terms of value proposition of battery capacity to dollar that you spend, I would really strongly reconsider. I'd strongly consider an Equinox if I were you. Am I dead? It's good to have an SUV in Alaska.
Brent? God damn it, Brent? Hello? I guess I'm lucky to be alive.
I didn't have to waste all that money, apparently. I mean, not money, ammunition. I could have just fallen in the pit. I wish I had known that. I wouldn't go bolt. There's about to be really killer deals on used bolts. A lot of them will end their lease soon. But the thing that gets slept on is charging time. The biggest and most important improvement to newer battery chemistries and newer EVs is being able to fully utilize the new higher kilowatt fast chargers. Well, here's the other thing about the BMW is that only it uses those tires. So it's a proprietary tire. If you're going to buy it, you want to buy a couple extra sets because you might not be able to get them in the future. Or, like I said, you do a wheel swap. You take it to Les Schwab, and you pay probably $2,000 or $3,000 to get all new wheels with all new tires put on that car, and then it's actually a pretty serviceable car. It's a Beamer, so every repair is going to be expensive, but it's the best plug-in hybrid anybody has made. But like I said, if you're willing to consider the Equinox, that's the best fully battery electric EV that is being made for a reasonable, like, non-Tesla price right now. As much as I love Tesla, I can't recommend them yet. They don't really have a reasonably affordable car. They're working on it. They're working on it. The new limited range Model 3 is going to be like 170 mile range for under 30 grand starting. Which isn't great. It's great for Tesla, but other companies have been doing better than that for a while now. And the reason I can't recommend any other EV is because there are smaller ones, like the Bolt. The Bolt is like what you want. But the issue is, if you live in a cold environment, you really want the fast charging ability. You really want it to be able to charge as fast as humanly possible, and that's the big new plus with the Equinox. Maybe you don't think it's going to suck as bad as it will. It will suck bad if you're on a trip and you are stuck in a fucking blizzard, freezing your ass off, sitting in your car, not running the heater because that will make it charge slower, playing your Steam Deck, waiting for your battery to charge so you can go another like 160, 170 miles, which is all you're going to get out of it because of the cold weather. You want more battery. You want faster charging especially. If the capacity is there in public chargers, you want to be able to use it. That's a good thing to have. It's this single thing that more than anything else makes owning an EV suck less. Is just being able to fill up the battery in a hurry when you need to. Did it have a giant ass? The one with the giant ass is the Model X. I wish I could recommend the BMW i3. It's almost perfect. It's almost exactly what I would design. But like I said, they're BMW, so they had to include some bullshit, bad choices. It's great. The drivetrain is great. They struck a perfect balance between having gas as a backup Unlike the Volt, though, you're not really meant to use the gas most of the time. It's really limited. It just barely keeps you going at 60 miles an hour on level road. It's just so you can find a fast charger. It's meant to be driven mainly as an electric car. It's a great idea. My perfect car would be a plug-in hybrid that runs on propane. With at least 100 miles of battery. Today, Rosendahl himself came to visit the construction site at the West Gate. What an honorable man he is. They all shook our hands, examined our tools and instruments, double-checked every brick. I do think this wall is unmatched engineering skill, precision in the plans, the way it's designed. I don't see a way for Alice to overcome it, I hope desperately. Well, don't be surprised when the robots come and get you. What's happening? What's happening? Ooh, I don't like this. They never learn. That's what I like about them. That's the thing that you could road trip in an Equinox. I know it's an ugly car, all right. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's a beautiful car. It's not. It's not great looking. But that's not that's not what you buy a car for. You buy a car for the specs, for what's under the hood, and what's under the hood is probably the best EV for the most reasonable price in a long time. If I had the money to buy a purely battery electric vehicle, that would be Porky Pig time. That's what I would get. I would get an Equinox. Not because it's sexy, but because I'm getting to that age where I can't care what's sexy anymore. I have to think about what's practical. I know nobody wants to admit that they're dad age. Mine does that too, but it's because it's fucking hot out. Has it been hot out where you are? I've had people mistake the coolant pump sound for the engine running. Like, do you know your engine's running? I'm like, oh no, that's the coolant pump. Then again, that guy was a Nissan Leaf owner that I had run into before in that same parking lot. So he probably wasn't used to hearing it because the Nissan Leaf doesn't fucking have a coolant pump. It should. Unbelievably, Nissan never learned their lesson and put out another car without liquid cooling, and it actually degraded worse, not better. That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, mine chugs like a fucking steam train when it's really hot out, because it's working really hard to keep everything cool. It's not just the battery, it's all the power electronics, it's the charger. The charger itself that's in the car gets hot. Is this a puzzle? Is that what I'm looking at here? I think I'll put off VR until next time. Now I have gamepad support. I can do distance car game, which is fun, but it's really short, so I can knock it out in one stream, one sitting. Ow, fuck. I hate that noise. Ooh, that's by far the scariest sounding one. Oh. I'm being mobbed. Lord, they coming. Oh Lord, they coming. They're clogging up the stairwells. Nope. Oh, baby. It's supposed to be able to do that on the car, isn't it? Isn't there a way to schedule that on the car? In the menu? This is spooky. If we could mass manufacture humanoids, they wouldn't even have to be very good at combat. There would just have to be a lot of them. Then again, I know it's weird to hear me say this, but robot armies are kind of overrated because of the logistics involved. You got to have like dozens of mineral and crystalline elements to make a robot. And you have to have none of those supply lines get disrupted to keep making them. It's an advantage so long as you can protect a lot of your territory and your mines and whatnot. It stops being an advantage if they get really good at disrupting your logistics. Yeah. That's a problem I always had with Skynet and the Future War. A couple problems. Like, number one, how are they not starved to death? It says they eat rats and have mushroom farms. That doesn't really explain it. Why are they not dead from malnutrition? Why are they not dead from illness? Why did Skynet not simply create a virus, like a disease, a plague? Here's the thing that gets me, Short Talk. Volt was a perfectly good, beloved platform, and they killed it. That doesn't make sense to me. Why didn't they keep going and keep improving the concept of the Volt? By now, we could be on Generation 3 Volts with a 100-mile battery-only range. And another 200 in gas. Or even if it's 100 in gas, that's a perfectly sensible compromise. They just decided the world didn't want plug-in hybrids anymore. I think there's a lot of people who are not open to buying a purely battery electric car because they're afraid of range anxiety, which is not you and I both know is not the issue. It seems like if you have never driven anything electric before, they have this fear in their minds that it's just going to spontaneously run out of battery while they're driving it with no warning. And they trust gas because they have experience with gas. They know gas. They know that it will do what they need it to. People like that will buy a plug-in hybrid, though, because it has the gas backup. I don't begrudge them that, either. Kind of. The new Priuses are basically almost to where Volts were in 2011. Which only speaks to how groundbreaking a car the Volt was when it came out. It was the best plug-in hybrid, and plug-in hybrids weren't even a thing yet. And it stayed the best plug-in hybrid for a long time, too. How do I get down there? Why am I stuck? Why is that not open? Why not open? I become a caveman when I'm distressed. Why is that not open? Oh, I need to turn the wheel, don't I? But I forget where that is. Where was that? Where wheel? Can I break these? Some of these are just magically not breakable. I'd really like to complete this section before I quit for tonight. I don't remember how I fucking continued though. Oh, let me throw the switch. Oh, that's why. Did that open the door? It did not. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? Maybe I need to... do a physics puzzle. I love the Gary's Mod noises. There we go. That's what you need to do. Maybe. No, that just gets you extra items. Shit. I should probably save anyway. Ultium is what Equinox has. That's the good shit. You want that. I agree Bolt was a killer platform while it lasted. It was the first really affordable car that had more than 200 miles of range. But not in Alaska. In Alaska it's like 160. So you really need to consider that when you shop for an EV. I'm still going to sell you on an Equinox one way or the other. It's the right answer. It's just not the right form factor. Maybe by that time they'll have a smaller car out based on Ultium. There's a key there. That's what I didn't have before. Why were you in here? That wasn't cool. That was not very cash money of you, game. Some food, some spirits and tonics and whatnot. Save. Actually, let me heal first. That's what killed me last time. How do I get down there? There was like a green wheel somewhere. Ah, here we go. This opened now. This is quite like what parts of Little Robot read like. When they're shooting their way out of the hospital and there's all the medical robots trying to stop them. I got a haircut. I look nice. It's short talk. I hear what you're saying, but it's not about long trips. It's about having extra battery for emergencies in Alaska. It's good to have. It's really, honestly, it's the new standard. There shouldn't be EVs anymore that don't have at least 200 miles of range in cold weather. You'll be glad you have it in certain situations. It's what I recommend. If you don't want my advice, then that's fine. Don't listen to me. You could get a Spark for cheap, and it would give you 70 miles of range in cold weather. If you really only need a city car. A used Spark would be fine for you if that's all you're going to use it for. But I really think you'll be safer, frankly, and better off with a bigger battery, and because you're going to lose a lot of that to the cold weather, except in the summer. For most of the year, you're not going to have a lot of your range. And if it's a used Spark, then it's probably the degradation will bring that down further to like to 40 or 50 miles. I hate to say it. Which again is plenty for a city car. By then, Equinox will be priced very reasonably, and probably there will be more options. Frankly, it'll be a totally different landscape by that time, and you'll have a lot more options for cars you can buy that have Ultium batteries or better. I think Ultium is the first EV battery that's honestly good enough for most people and their expectations because of the fast charging. That's the one area where EVs are still honestly behind gas and in a big way, and it's an important area of improvement. People expect to be able to refill quickly, and that is a huge drag if you're not an EV lifer, if you're not really dedicated to the cause of Sparkle Motion. Then it'll take the wind out of your sails in a hurry to have to sit at a charging station for 4 fucking hours. Or even if it's a fast charger, quote unquote fast charger, if it's a last generation EV, you're looking at 45 minutes for a full charge. 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the battery size. That's nothing to sneeze at. Have bottlenecked them all up here. Oh Lord, they coming. I'm gonna run out of ammo before they run out of robots. I know there's more. You can't fool me. Bitch titties. They fooled me, actually. I'm just saying, battery is like penis girth. You can't have too much. I guess you can. You know what I mean. There's no amount of it that's too much if it's gonna be a pure BEV, because that's also gonna degrade over time. The more you have to start with, the more margin you have for degradation. You see what I'm saying? They keep coming. Are they never ending? Do these never stop? How are there so many of them? What are they doing? They're all running towards the siren. Are they programmed to do that? No more ammo. There's too many of them. Couldn't make it. What am I supposed to be doing? I think the robots are never ending, and I'm not supposed to try to fight them all. Yeah, it's not too bad for me, Short Talk, because I drive every day, but I drive short distances. My concern is the insurance company hasn't billed me for this month's insurance yet. They keep saying they're gonna, but they say some shit I don't understand about how they need me to approve by email. But I checked my email inbox and didn't find anything. I'm technically driving uninsured until I can figure out how to authorize them to bill me. As for gas, I consume about 2 tanks a year and almost entirely on long trips. I picked just exactly the right car for my use case. I tried to talk myself into a BEV with a big battery. If I'd cashed out all my crypto, I could have bought one. I probably should have, because the crypto I didn't cash out plummeted in value. Would have been a better investment than what I did. But instead, I was like, reasonably speaking, I drive very short distances. I drive short errands. Battery power in a volt is entirely sufficient for almost all of my use cases, and I can stomach consuming gasoline like twice in a year, which is only summer trips. Thank you, Snow Bunny. I need to figure out. I thought maybe it was getting accidentally sent to the spam folder, but I checked my spam folder. I think I have multiple emails. I need to make sure they have the one I think they do. Yeah, but Short Talk, you have the ability to do that. That's what a plug-in hybrid does for you. You don't have to rent a car. You can use your own car. It's somewhat inefficient because it's 2 cars in one. It's heavy as two cars in one, and doesn't get as good fuel efficiency or as good electric efficiency. Like a Swiss Army knife, it's a compromise. But when it works for you, when you're really feeling the benefits of the compromise, it's magical. Because you can just keep driving. It also eliminates range anxiety because it doesn't matter if your battery runs out. So you get all the joy of electric driving. You don't have to even look at the battery and even care about it. Because what's it to you if you use a tiny little bit of gas on the way home? Will they not attack me if I don't attack them first? It almost seems to be that way. Thank you, Snow Bunny. It's a shame you don't want kids. You're very nurturing. You're very good at caring for somebody who doesn't have their life together. In this case, it's an autistic adult. That makes me sound pathetic. I could take care of myself, hypothetically. I'll figure it out before I die anyway. You gonna attack me or not? That guy's just frozen. Fuck. You know what? It's close enough to quitting time and I'm getting frustrated. I'll come back to this after watching a YouTube video off screen of how you're supposed to handle this battle so that when we play next, I can look like I'm an expert. And you'll be none the wiser. You're so caring, Snow Bunny. I was just talking about this. How cheesy it sounds, but how true it is. That nobody talks about how the real benefit you get from streaming is meeting people who care about you and meeting new friends, and it brings a fucking tear to my eye.
Of course, I'm your friend.
I might cry a bitch tear. I met people who are part of my life now who, even though I've never met them offline, are just as much good, close friends as people I've known for years or a decade plus. And people that I trust and who have my back and who are always thinking of how to help me. And I think about how to help them. I send them stuff they'll like. And it's... I know that everyone's listening to this and like, hey, yeah, that's called friendship, weirdo. That's a normal part of human existence. Not for everybody. Not for everybody. Not everybody is equally blessed in that area. It's a new thrill and a new experience for me since I started streaming. That I don't always have to fight uphill against people's negative reactions to me, like I got used to when I was younger. I guess I've improved my craft somewhat, and I've become a more sufferable person as opposed to insufferable, and I have attracted to me supportive, caring people who really care about me, and that's moving. No homo. Or, you know what, maybe even homo if you sub to my Patreon. I want to give the mice a heater because it looks like they're cold sometimes, but it's not that chilly out there. It's like 60, 70. No, it's like 60 degrees inside in the storage area. They're plenty warm huddling together, and whenever I put a heater under the cage, a weird thing happens. It causes all this condensation to form on the walls, and it makes the inside absolutely fucking putrid. So I'm not going to do that. I don't know what the right answer is. Oh, look, one of them made an appearance. There he goes. Look at the little potato. He's just a little potato man. That's true. Short Talk, every word of what you just wrote is devastatingly true and accurate. Can mice be torbs? Torbs means cats, doesn't it? But it could also just mean general cute small animal. Little mouse torbs in their mouse house, going about their mousely business, which is none of our business. If I thought I could stream this nonstop, I would. If there's enough demand for it, I will. But until then, I'm just going to stream this while I stream games as an added feature. So you can watch the little dudes going about whatever it is they get up to all day. Taxes, I guess. Or gambling. But that is all for this evening. Look forward to the beginning of October. Because that's the beginning of spoopy season, which is when I'm going to start to read to you some of my newer writing. I'm sure that'll go over well with everybody, and we won't have mass abandonment of people leaving, joining and saying, "What the fuck is this stream?" It said VR horror games, and now I'm watching mice frolicking and listening to a man read his horror literature. I'll consider it, but I think it's enough for the time being, so I don't confuse people. Just to stream the mice while I'm gaming. You bet your ass. Actually, that's what Necrobot is. Stratogif. It's animatronic human taxidermy. Has a horror story. Mice are cute. They're little loafs. They might not be torbs, technically, but they're definitely loafs. They definitely assume a loaf configuration when they're laying down. That's the important thing. Should I just leave it streaming then? Is that what you want? But then I have to quit at least to snip it off at the end so I can upload the VOD to YouTube. So maybe I'll stream Mice tonight experimentally. But I'm definitely going to call it quits, at least briefly, so I can get that VOD. Thank you all for joining. It's been a blast, like it always is, especially this time. It's been fun revisiting these old games that I had to put down. Or rather, I had to put them up on a shelf and save them for when I could upgrade my CPU. And now that I have the faster CPU, revisiting them. And much to my delight, as expected, they run buttery smooth now, more or less. And that greatly expands the body of games that I can draw from for our streams. That's functionally equivalent to buying new games. Just unlocking games that were locked away because of my shitty hardware. All thanks to Short Talk's hand-me-downs. And also Snow Bunny's advice and guides. And both of them together are mostly who you should credit the recent hardware improvement to. And that's going to mean a lot of games that I haven't been able to stream are now on the God, let's have a look, actually. I think I haven't categorized them according to games I couldn't play before, but there are definitely a lot of them. Haven Moon, kind of. Hellblade, I had to put down. Remember that? Hellblade was just too much for the poor i5. Infra, kind of. All the VR games, really. Kenshi, I probably wouldn't. Kenshi's CPU limited. But the point is drastic explosion of options. Way more options, which is overwhelming. I don't even know what to choose some nights. I just go where my heart takes me, like the Enterprise theme song. You can reach every star with Scott Bakula and Jolene Blalock's tits. Because Brennan Braga doesn't respect women and casts beautiful women in roles which require them to wear skin-tight catsuits, just like 7 of 9, but you don't get that mad about it, because you busted some of your favorite nuts to 7 of 9 in those fucking space jammies that she always wore. Thank you, Brandon Braga. That's not how the song goes. Faith of the heart. I was reading an article today about a U2 song they wanted to use instead. I'm like, you gotta be joking me. They thought, like, yeah, alright, the song they went with, it wasn't great, but the one they wanted to go with was even worse. We actually got spared an even worse fit for the theme song because they couldn't afford the royalties. Leave it to them to accidentally make a less bad decision because they don't want to spend money making a worse choice than they already have. Although Enterprise is later episodes were Kino. Enterprise had some really good episodes when it got away from the whole 9/11 thinly veiled 9/11 allegory. And we found out about the Zindi and the 5 different species, and got more Phlox episodes. I thought it was it's a good song. It doesn't really fit Star Trek, but it's all right. It's not as bad as what they were gonna go with, which was I forget the U2 song they were gonna go with, but it was an even worse fit, and that made me laugh harder than I have in a while. That we got spared. Like they were restrained in how bad of a decision they could make by the budget. They're like, we wanted to make it even worse. We wanted to spend all our money making it even worse, but we just couldn't do it. T'Pol was hot, but it broke my heart when I found out she had fake titties, because she has nudes online, but they're like it's not just that they're fake too. It's that she used like an A cup, so they look like inflatables. They're not. It's not a good situation, but she's very pretty and she's a very talented actress. It's very brutally challenging to play a Vulcan when all of your training as an actor is to emote, having to do the opposite of that and having to resist all provocation to facial expression. They should really just hire autistic people for that. But anyway, I've been talking way too long. Although I do enjoy our cozy after stream chats, I have got to go sleep and cuddle my cat. So I'm going to go do that and get at me again on Monday. Wow, end of the week. Crept up on me. Same ham time, same ham channel. That's 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time, 11 o'clock p.m. West Coast time also. I don't know why it would be a different one. This is your friendly neighborhood ham dad signing off and returning you to your regularly scheduled sleepy time.